Today we will finish your symmetry bugs that we started last week. What you're going to do is, first I picked out all of the colors I wanted to use with my oil pastels. And I'm going to go around and trace the bug with the colors I'd like to make him. So I'm going to go ahead and trace the top of his head green. I'm going to try to fill it in really good. I want to make sure I get a lot of that oil pastel on there because I'm going to transfer it over here in just a few minutes. And I want to make sure that there's enough oil paint on there to be able to rub off onto the other side. So I'm just going to go around and fill in my oil paint on my tracing, like so. Oh man, I'm not staying on the lines very well. Probably shouldn't go to art school. Let's see, make sure I get his antennas. And sometimes the antennas and stuff have a really hard time transferring over because they're so little. So I try to fill those in pretty dark. Do a few of his spots down here. Whoa, I was way off on my line right there. Maybe some light orange down here. And then finish his legs. I'm going to do those in red. Ooh, this red's a little stale. It's a little hard to push down. I think maybe this might be an old oil pastel. Oh, of course, now it falls apart. So I'm going to finish tracing my bug, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a yellow bottle cap, and I'm going to fold over my paper like this. And with this yellow bottle cap, I'm going to kind of rub it, and I'm using kind of the edge instead of just flat. I'm kind of pushing down on the edge to make it push a little bit harder. And I'm going to try to squish down some of that oil pastel onto the other side of my paper. Sometimes it doesn't come through very dark, and you might need to try to put more oil pastels on it, or maybe you're just not rubbing around hard enough or getting the whole bug in there. You go all the way down to the bottom, get his feet. Once you do that, you can open up your picture, and it's not going to be perfect, but you're going to see like a little ghost outline of your bug. Notice how some of the antler or the antenna, you can kind of see it, not very well, and like this leg back here. I might want to push on that one a little bit more because I don't really see the line that I need to follow. And once I do this, oh, that's a little better. I'm going to go back and take the colors I used and retrace so that it's more clear on the other side. But with symmetry, it's the same on each side, so pushing it down is what's going to make like the legs about in the same place. This one's still a little bit hard to see down here. I'm going to kind of guess on this one. And his antenna is a little hard to see. But I'm just going back in and I'm filling in the rest of my bug so he looks the same on both sides. And let's see, my last orange. When I'm done with that, I'm going to fill my bug in with some watercolors. So I've got my water, I've got my paints, and I've got my paper towel so I can dry my brush off on it. Before I do that though, I don't need my oil pastels anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and put them back in the bag, and if I drop some on the floor, I'm going to pick those up and put those in the bag too so we don't lose them. Put that to the side. Then I am going to go ahead and start painting my bug with the water paints. They don't have to be the same color that you made your outlines if you don't want them to. You can make your bug rainbow color, tie-dye color, whatever you decide to do with your bug. Now that he has symmetrical spots and body type. So I'm just going to get some water, go back in. Make sure you wash your brush off between each color to try to avoid getting a lot of different colors mixed together in the water paints. And also try not to just stab through the water paints and break them up and make them all messy, because I'd like to be able to water paint some more stuff in the future. And it's going to be hard to do that if all of our water paints are in pieces. So once I finish filling in my bug with my water paints, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the drying rack, and there's a little orange or green section on the drying rack, mind you, green, and I'm just going to put my bug right up there so that it can dry. And when I'm all done, I'm just going to put my water paints and my brush back in the black bucket on my table along with my oil pastels, and I'm going to put my soda pop lid that we used in the little basket that's on your table for the soda pop lids. And then if I still have time left in class, which you should when you're done with your work, you can open up the video in Canvas about using the symmetry tool in Sketchbook, and you can watch the video to get some ideas about what you can make with the symmetry tool, or how to use it anyways. And then I want you to just play around with that, because next week I'm going to have you make something with your symmetry tool on Sketchbook. And so I want you to kind of get a feel for how the symmetry tool works, and what kind of stuff you like to make with it. I have some friends that just like to make like symmetrical design patterns. You could make things like butterflies. You could pretty much make anything you can think of, and all it does is draw the other half for you. So I will go ahead and let you guys get started on your bugs, and then hopefully you'll have some time to try out that symmetry tool when you're done.